You don't you look at yourself. So that means you either think, or you think you are not creative, right? So I was reading this book recently. It's called Creative Confidence, right? And these guys who wrote that book run this design school in Stanford, right? So these guys talk about creativity is the most natural thing that can be. So this is these are humans, these are robots. Yeah? Yes or no? No? Are you sure? Okay. Let's do one more exercise. Connection. So how many of us think that we are really connected to some people, some our members, our portfolio, it might be any. How many of us connection to something really matters? Identity. All of us. Okay, let's try to explore this as well. Okay, let's see how it goes. No, not that. Yeah. Huh? Who's calling me? Oh, Dad. Okay. How many of us are living a life that how many of us have such instances in our life? It might be into a material or it might be to a person. I couldn't find a more appropriate picture than this, but yeah, so how many of us have such kind of instances in our life right now? Deeply connected. Oh, I cannot. Can you share? Are you comfortable enough to share?
Well, I guess it's not something like it's about something shared, but yes, like there are things like that are hidden or like even I do not know what I'm doing with my life sometimes. Like I can portray myself as something like that.
It's not one person being masked, it's two people. So who is the other person you don't find you are what did you say? Is there one more person involved or anything?
Not one, maybe more than one sometimes. It can be one sometimes. Not in that. Not in that particular way, but yes, the other person like is like the way it's not open to everyone. Like it's hidden in the sense that I'm not comfortable in showing it to the world. So there are instances.
I'm not comfortable to show it to the world. It's fine. Anyone else who would like to share? Yeah, from there, Mike.
Wait, so this kind of embarrassing. In 12th grade of this, when I joined the college, yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah, there was a girl talking with me and kind of clicked. And for 2 years, our focus was just on each other, and we kind of forgot everything else. So I really connected with that.
Okay. So when was it? 11 and 12. Okay. Cool. So how was the time?
It was fun, but then my friends felt like. And so my focus was only on that one person where I forgot everything else, and it kind of ruined our relationship.
Okay. Cool. So now if you see and if you put this picture in the perspective of us and our LCs, what do you guys think? Yeah, anyone wants to share? Yeah, you want to share again? Where are you from? That's from London. Have you been on IXP?
In perspective of the LC, maybe sometimes we are not so comfortable like while talking about the LC. Like it can be general, like going outside somewhere to the world where like somehow you want like this particular thing should not come up. maybe you shy away because you do not have confidence in you. Like it used to happen with me when I joined Aiesec at the start. It doesn't happen now. It doesn't come to me back to me these days. But maybe there may be other people back in my LC. This may happen. It did happen to me once, like where I did shy away sometimes, like discussing about Aiesec or telling that I'm a part of Aiesec. Okay.
Any other perspective? Yeah. Suraj. Sorry. Yeah, I'll come back to you.
What happens is usually we tend to become how the LC is, or the LC tends to become how
So what happens then?
what happens is you do not get provided instructions.
So what happens then?
Instead, you're receiving or giving only in one direction.
Okay.
You
So,
do not have that.
see, if you see as an association, and then if we see us as leaders of the organization and the LC, and then we see Aiesec India, what impact do you see this element having in the organization's culture? So, you are an LC, so I'm just comparing this image to LC, leaders and the LC, right? And then if we just zoom out and if we see Aiesec India in this view, what do you see as a pattern in the organization culture? Do you see something like? Does it affect? Do you think it affects or doesn't affect? Yeah. Okay, it's fine. If my question was too complicated. Yeah, Karthik, and I'll come back.
For the same question that you asked, if you're looking at Aiesec India as a whole, going far away and looking at Aiesec India as a whole, where all LCs are like this, it's like looking at a horse race where they have a flap on their eyes and they're just moving in one direction and they don't have any kind of sense of what is around them. We are running and we don't know what's happening in our surroundings.
Wait, just to clarify the direction in which we're discussing, there's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. It's a choice that we make to take forward the way we want to lead or the way we want to do things, right? So we're just sharing perspectives, and in the end, you can choose to make your own conclusion based on what we discussed over here, right? But I had to go here first, and then I'll come back to you.
So as from my perspective, it is like there are flow down issues, like leadership concentrates on the people just next to the hierarchy, and on the lowest level, the messages, they don't get flowed down. Apart from that, there can be, like, we are into an organization, we talk about it all the time, very passionate about it, but we don't see other perspectives. There are many other things, like we can't think out of the box, which is already happening. We consider that, and we work on that only. Like the events and everything, we just concentrate on. We have been doing for the past so many years. We don't find something new, and that's what I do.
We don't find something new. Okay. Yeah, you have. He raised that. I'll come back to this.
Okay, I kind of developed a viewpoint, but I'm not sure if this is what your viewpoint was.
I don't have a viewpoint right now. Seriously. Nothing. I don't have anything.
Okay, so when Karthik says that, we're like a horse, we're strapped and we're running in one direction. And if you look at it from an MC point of view, like, the National Association, what's happening is the National Association is the one who's setting the track for you. So what's happening is you have no option but to strap yourself and think that that's the best way to run that race and win it.
So what do you guys think about this? Yeah, appreciation.
So, I do not technically apply this just to LCs, it is applying to BMC as well as Aiesec International, any team within Aiesec. So, let's say for example, the example given yesterday about how we are in an ocean, but we're stuck in a fishbowl. So, we're stuck in a fishbowl. Now, I read in a book from HBR teams that there are 3 things that make a team the best. It might be engagement, energy, and the third thing is going to external factors and learning from them and coming back and improvising it. So as LCs, as an MC, as an AI, we are stuck in like a small minefield in our own barriers, which we have set ourselves, and we can't see over that. we have limited ourselves to resources, to thoughts, opinions, and creativity because we feel that imagining with this reaction, and there's no way we can get out this barrier. There's no way we can extend. We limit ourselves, and not just within our LC, but even to external organization, external factors and strategies and innovation, which is making us go in a circle again and again and again, and just rotating to what we do and just coming back to the same point over the years in Aiesec.
Cool. From here, one. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, so plus one to what Karthik said, and this might sound a bit confusing, but there are only three things. There's something we know, there's something we know that we don't know, and there's something that we don't know that we don't know in this entire world. Okay? So, the something we know is the only thing that we keep talking about and we keep executing it. There's something we don't know that we know is something that we don't make an effort to actually do something about it. And we do make innovations and creations and all of that, but I just think it's just right out there, and only when you unfold and when you look at the external factors around you, will you actually know how to, go further with it.
Okay. Yeah, wait. Mike.
I take the girl as myself, and that's my LC and all, and I just limit myself, my creativity, my thoughts just to my LC and not to Aiesec India as a whole. So that hampers the growth of Aiesec India as an association because I do not create something for Aiesec India but just for my LC.
Does Aiesec India become the same as well in the global country as what he said as well? Because, for example, let me give a bit of perspective from what I think right now and what came to me by hearing what you guys. So this is a platform, and Aiesec is a platform, right? In this platform, we choose to do whatever we want, right? As Karthik said, someone choose to draw those lines and make people run towards it, or someone choose to do something, someone choose to do something. So people function the way a system is devised, right? And then in that system that is devised, conversation is what makes what the organization is, right? Yes, no? You guys agree to it? I'll agree to it. Yeah? So how can we, so what do you think? Should we evade it? Or should we build something different? Or should we create a different kind of system? Or do we need a system? Or what do you guys think about this? Because everything that's limiting should be not there, right? Why should something limit what we can do? And you guys are starting for example, why should an awards night at NLS 2016 limit what we do? That's exactly what your example was, right? It's just like a perspective for us to think more. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the thought process that we're coming from, but I just want to ask you a question. The reason why we have these restrictions is because the leadership in the past has experienced certain circumstances. So don't you think there must have been, I'm not saying everything that we have, our compendium and everything is wrong completely or right completely for that matter, but it's through experience that we've had these additions and restrictions of how, like, the standard operating procedure and stuff like that. So I'm not for adhering to standard operation procedures, but also not for removing them altogether. So what's your opinion?
Okay, interesting point then. Okay, wait, I'll go there. Oh, sorry, I'll go here.
I would like to add to what you said that is this restricting an organization to grow or not? I'm sorry. So maybe when you talk about having inputs from all directions, that for sure, talking very like Aiesec centric and its membership involved. So yes, it would give you a number of directions and a number of inputs to work onto things. But what if you at some point in time cannot afford that risk of just innovating things? Maybe there are things you are trying, but then you somehow are not reaching results. So at that point in time, maybe you need those fixed tracks onto which can take a sure guarantee of results and not try and take a number of inputs. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, just perspective before we come there. That's very valid, what he said. But then, as we are principle, as the leaders of the organization, we choose to go away, we choose to devise the culture that we choose to devise, right? I'm just trying to challenge the thought that everything that's limiting us, why should it be there or exist, is my only question.
So my perspective on this is that if you put the membership here and the LC on the other side, you become very comfortable with the LC. You become comfortable with the process of the LC, with how the LC works, and with the membership of the LC. And you are limiting yourself there because you are not open to change anymore. Because, for example, if you at one point of time called it GCDP, and then we changed to GC, it takes time to change because we are already comfortable with the fact that we are calling it GCDP. It's a very small example, but I'm talking about in-depth processes. So my perspective is that definitely if you're connected in this way, where you're blind, there's something that needs to come in so that it changes.
For example, I came to Hyderabad for 3 conferences now. The first one was NSC in 2012, right? And there used to be this really crazy cab company, and I ordered the cab. It came to pick me at Leonia, and I went to the airport. I paid around like 1,200 rupees. I was with one of my friends, and the car company is called Meru Cab. Okay? And now these kind of companies, this kind of big houses who have been doing like cab company services for a very, very, very long time. Right. Now, if you go and ask them, like if someone comes to them and says that, okay, let me tell you something, that if we do things like how Uber does, you're going to be a $1 billion company in 100 countries. Let's first say. I'm not sure about the fact of how many countries Uber is present in, but those companies put forward all those points of views or things that, okay, this is the problem, drivers, this, that, financial model, this, that. And someone comes from somewhere and just disrupts the entire industry, and everyone is just like, oh, what just happened? Right? I'm not saying we're becoming a Meru Cab, I'm not saying we're becoming Uber. I'm just saying when is there in the organization that much of allowance for anyone to come and create anything they want and just try to see what happens from there. For example, the instance over here, what happened, like the girl from the OC, what's her name? Gitanjali. She came here and shared. I've not really seen OC members coming and sharing in sessions during national conference. That means he was paying attention and these things were happening. This is a simple example of what we saw inside the session itself. But our members, our people inside the organization, how, like, if they are free, whatever they give out to the trainees or to the companies or to anyone will be on that lines, right? So how do you think like we can develop an organization like this where we are not bringing a member and saying that, okay, match the form?
Cool. Just adding on to you, so I think what Aiesec as an organization is facing since so many years is the biggest flaw of being in a monopoly as an organization, where we have no competitive advantage or we can't compare ourselves to different organizations who's on the same lines and improvise constantly. It just forces upon, if there's competition, it forces our hands to keep on improvising and building our product. Number 2 is, let's say I'm in Uber right now, I'm the CEO of Uber, and I've worked really well. And Meru Cabs are looking for a CEO themselves and they want to hire expertise. So they put across an offer and I became the CEO of Meru Cab. I get the expertise of that field, innovation ideas from that particular company, and I plan Meru Cabs and improvise it. Right now in Aiesec as an organization, we have rules and regulations, we have a compendium and we have some processes. Whoever comes in this organization don't have any experience on prior notice. They don't have corporate experience, they don't have internship, they're coming directly from colleges. So they can't help and challenge the compendium processes directly. And this is where we need external input on a constant basis, where it might be DOA, it might be having external relevance in every part of our stage, so that at least it's not putting across from our USP of our organization, but also at the same time helping us get external relevance and keep on building on this USP.
Something to also notice over here is like, for the past couple of years, I didn't before that because I was not there in the organization, but always, there is ambition, there is dissatisfaction of proving something right, but there is a huge urge of drawing a point of view from somewhere which might not be relevant in our context, right? So how can we get rid of those things? For example, a yes and no can technically change an organization, right? For example, a member comes to you. For example, when I was a team leader, I went to my VP saying that, okay, my LC was in debt, and we had to pay around 12 lakh rupees to the MC, and then like everyone was like, come on, we pay the debt and all those things. So I was like, okay, so let me get people to India and let them start business, and then we'll take whatever they make out of it. It was we might say that it's a very naive idea, but once it said no, done, right? And then after that I never did it. And I've not seen something like that happen as well. And then it came as a conversation a couple of weeks back when I don't know who I was talking to, but how can we allow that much of freedom? And how can we become those kind of leaders which are flexible and adaptable very, very quickly? Right? We resist change, we resist a lot of things, and that's completely fine. But how can we be so flexible? Right? How can we be that agile? Right? An over-manufactured machine can never be useful in today's world, right? You guys get it? Yeah.
So actually, like adding to your perspective or considering the before slide connections, the only thing which I really think which is restricting us is connections, because when we have point of connections with the LC or with our fellow mates, or for example in a relation, if we have connections, we restrict ourselves by having expectations from them. Like we expect something back from them, and we also get a lot of point of views where we become definite. And for example, if a member is so connected to the LC, if he or she is not getting a raise or a match, they'll feel so bad and they don't know what to do, because they want to do but they're not able to contribute, and they will go into that depression stage where again, we need to motivate them and all. But what if we completely destroy the point of connections with the LC or with the membership, and where there is only space where we can create things if nothing is working, or if it is working wrong, where we destroy everything and create it again. So at the end of the day, what you need is you need to create yourself into a better person, and it will develop the LC into a better organization. Connections will limit yourself because you are expecting, you want to prove someone that I want to prove. So this is what I feel.
I really would want to. I'll come back to you on the next slide because we're right as I need to get to dinner. Aditya Birla Group, you guys know about them, right? Aditya Birla Group run the business as trust. No one in Aditya Birla Group say that they are the owner of the business, right? They don't own it. It's a separate entity. For example, if a company gets bankrupt, you don't get bankrupt. The company gets bankrupt, and you don't own the company, right? And there was a very cool point made by Spadika yesterday in the evening that I think Aiesec is present in 64, has been present for 64 years just because there's no one who owns it. Maybe not. So on that case, what is this? What do you guys think? Start, you want to go? No? It's fine. All of us raise our hands saying that, okay, my LC, my home, is all. And I'm not trying to negate any sentiment or any point of view or any ends that you have, right? But I'm just trying to ask a question so that we get to more clarity of stuff. Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, so what comes into my mind is home is a place where we are comfortable, where nobody is there to judge, and there is a sense of responsibility and ownership, and that can connect it to this.
No, it's completely valid point that, okay, I need to have ownership and I need to have this and that, and then I need to have accountable and all those things. It was very funny when we were at the UN, and then all those sustainable development goals were being discussed, and then we again needed an accountability framework at Union Office to understand how we are going forward as a humanity. That's really funny for me, right? So I want to understand more from what you guys think.
So just adding, I don't know exactly what you might figure from home and the topic you previously spoke about, but come and think of it, there might be one perspective that no one owns the organization, but there also might be perspective everyone owns the organization. Where we start treating our members and our TLs and our VPs and every part team in the whole Aiesec organization, where they have equal part in contributing in. So let's say NPC occurred where you want to co-create strategies with the presidents of Aiesec India. You want to get the bottom approach. Not just strategies and goals, like for example, if I'm having a local client conference, I'm getting their perspectives. But let's think in a bigger perspective. The biggest initiative is having the second Aiesec, where you're having a second organization, you start from scratch, and you're breaking all particular barriers, and you know that it's something that the whole Aiesec International could come together, and we're going to start from a completely different perspective, a fresh perspective from everyone's approach. So I think that's a good start, along with each member challenging the product, and that's the way forward.
Cool, might be any member can come and just have the organization and become PA in 3 years. I don't know what can happen, right? But are we as an organization allowing that to happen? Because it was so funny when I became the vice president and I was added to this commission group, and one of those VPs, it was 2013 scenario, but I just wanted to share that, okay, I'm going to my MBM, and then the subtitle was VP's job role to torture TLs. Okay. I don't think it happens these days, but then it says a lot about the organization we are coming from as well, right? Where are we headed? What do we really want as an organization, right? So yeah, anything else? You guys have new people?
So when the word home comes up in this topic, then I think it wouldn't be just the LC, but the concept of Aiesec as a whole, where it's just a platform where we feel comfortable to do whatever we want, and there's that feeling of safety around us.
But my question is, why do you need that? Just so you think. I don't need a liberal answer.
Look, so when you asked that, is your LC your home, I did not pick up my hand because I never felt that the LC is my home. I like the idea of Aiesec and what Aiesec does, but then I already have a home. I don't come here for that comfort, I come here for the thrill. And I come here for having something new. I already have a home, I already work somewhere else, but I come here for the different experience. So it's not the same thing that I want from a home. So that's why I don't feel that it's my home.
And the other question is, does it need to be as well?
It doesn't need to be. What if wherever I go, whatever I do becomes home for me? Because in this kind of a scenario, what we do is get a bunch of membership, pack them in a house where they get emotionally attached to certain things, because they come with a judgment that nobody would judge me, I feel comfortable, lots of emotions, people who have similar thoughts like me and such stuff. And then we block them into that structure which they start perceiving as home. Now once their term is over, say as a member, TL, VP, LCP, MCP, whenever, and they go back, and then they start thinking, okay, so I'm out of my home, I miss things, etc., etc. And suddenly it might feel that all those years I was in my home, I did not explore outside. So also, it's the present scenario kinds of restrict the people who we claim to grow. Because we might feel that, okay, our judgments are not being judged here, but then it's because we feel our judgments are valid in this sort of a home. So what if wherever I go is a home for me, and I come and use this organization to create what I want?
So when we say that you're not judged here, so a lot of times that I felt, even if people judge me, it's possible that people are judging you for your own good benefit. A lot of times we feel, okay, people are judging me, they're bad, but it's possible that when you take their judgments and you understand why are they judging you, you go through positive change yourself and you change yourself. But that change has to be yours. Like, I just ask my if it's mine, yes, it's mine. So it's a better change, and let people judge me. It doesn't matter.
It's your
people said that home is where you feel comfortable and Aiesec makes us feel comfortable. But maybe that's exactly why when maybe like new ideas coming or like what we were discussing about external perspectives coming in, those things make us feel uncomfortable, and maybe that's why we subconsciously end up rejecting them, because that's when we are not feeling at home maybe in Aiesec, because it's not what we want from Aiesec, it's not what we expect from Aiesec, or maybe it's in general it's not making us feel comfortable, and we want to be in our comfort zone within Aiesec. We've made this image of Aiesec in our head that it's our home, and when something external comes in, we don't want it in because it's like, you know, taking our space or whatever. Maybe that is the block in our mind which is stopping us from accepting things.
Yeah, I'll go to new people. Is anyone here? Yeah.
Hi. So when you talk about home, and you said why do we need a home, right? So I think it's basically a perspective that there are a lot of people who are really connected to Aiesec, and that's why we're here. So when you really get connected, you end up doing the same thing, like you're just doing Aiesec, 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 Aiesec. So you tend to feel like family at that point of time, and when you connect to family, you feel home. So I think that is why we feel that it is home, and that is why we need it as a home, because again, like they said, connecting the dots, is that you feel comfortable and you feel safe, and that's when the ownership comes out. That's what I thought about when I said why.
Yeah, this is a point of view. now this time, right? And then, for example, we have a year in which we have to do a lot of things. We have a lot of aspirations, ambitions, and all those things. So let's say a day. Yeah, it's a day, right? And I connect to my LC in a certain way, right? And I do certain things in my LC. I stay around with people in a certain way. I come, do things. And if I just take that thing out of the system from the time I spend with people, for example, I'm very, you are my VP, I'm your tier, and then we sit in a department meeting, we finish our job, 20 minutes done, and then what do? We probably sit and talk, and then we talk, then we talk, more talk, right? And then the whole idea of commentary starts happening, right? Because like world is a workspace, it's a stage, and then we start becoming the biggest commentators of things over here, right? Do we experience that? Because I experience that, right? No matter how much I try to resist that, I experience that all the time around me, right? If I just pull that element out of the system, just imagine the amount of space that you have for yourself or your people to do whatever you want or whatever you can. Right. For example, Lara, I think, was speaking on elections that this entire element of Ganesh going around Siva Parvati and what's the name of the other son? Karthikeya going around the world, right? Did the same thing, use different elements in the same time frame, right? And did something that was faster, maybe, right? So what are those things that really pull those strings that doesn't allow to be creative, or doesn't allow to create things or build things or do whatever we want with the spirit of the organization, obviously, because if you say that like I want to go and become an actor, like I think probably is not the right place for you to be. But there will be people who would want to work on this kind of concept. Like we believe in that. I really believe in that. People on the team believe in that. You guys believe in that, right? So how can it be? So I just want to share this. Like this is like every conference, there will be some dance slide coming up, as you guys know. So this dance form is called contact. Right. So if you see here, there at the top, that's the maximum form, the maximum amount of physical connection not physical, the holding that happens in this entire dance. And if you guys can go and watch videos of how contact does, it looks fantastic. It looks really fantastic. Right. So how can we, as an organization, allow, right? People come, we create, we give stuff. Members come, TLs come, VPs come. Everyone comes, we create, we pass them on. We try to fit those rods, we try to institutionalize those things, and try to see where we go. Right? How can we be an organization, as I was thinking in the morning, where we are extremely agile? What why do you need to have so many email communication? I need to send an email and then follow up and then reply, and it takes 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, and then someone does not reply. We text on WhatsApp, why are you not replying to my emails, and all those things and all those things. All those things that happen as a part of the organization. How can we eliminate that or hack that? Right, for example, I think Anup was talking about like 9 steps to change management in his presentation, and the first thing that hit my mind was, okay, there's 9 steps, so how do I hack it and see how fast I can reach there? Your members will come up with this kind of spirit, and if they will come with this kind of spirit when they find it works with that super free. Right, for example, I was supposed to deliver a session on leadership circle. Right? I had to deliver some content, but I could not have added the value that you guys created for yourself in that space. Right? Some of you might have wasted your time, some of you might have created amazing stuff, but you guys can understand for yourself on what that is. Right? Any thoughts here and there? What do you guys think right now? Where are we? My LC, my home. What does it feel like? Yeah, Aman.
I would just like to say, I'm someone, when you asked that, is your LC your home, I also didn't raise my hand, and I relate a lot to what Farhan just mentioned. I'm someone who doesn't get connected to things easily, and I try not to get connected to it, because I feel that when that separation comes, it's painful, and a lot of times connection hampers your creativity. To simplify it, just a beautiful example came to my mind just now, that if you take a helium balloon, okay, a balloon filled with helium gas, you tie it with a brick, you put it on the ground, it will be like this here. You cut that string, that string, and it will fly. So I feel that connection to something, and a very, very strong connection to something, limits us, and it just makes us very, very finite, and we cannot explore what's there outside. So I believe, yeah, that's what I believe.
Akash.
Just a point of view again, you can see a connection on the top or the pressure, but yeah, you really don't know what are the benefits of having the same pressure at different points of the body. There was a brick there, but you could always see connection as being the engine or the cylinder for a hot air balloon to rise up. It's just a point of view. For me personally, I won't term it connection, but if I'm emotionally vulnerable to the other thing, I would push myself harder to make sure that there's something creative out of the connection. So it's again a lot of different views. I don't know what to take or not, and I'm not understanding what to get out of the session, to be very honest.
And that's actually really fantastic, because that's what it takes, right? So like people take what they want. Mandir was talking in the morning about Aiesec experience. People probably should choose to get an experience what they really want to get out of the organization. Yeah. So probably we need to operate in some other direction or some different way. The same example I was sharing, like I started managing my team, first lifting the office hours, and then we put down like these four touch points that I have. Like we play sports Sunday morning, Monday morning we eat breakfast together, Wednesday evening we do our dinner, and then Friday night we have happy hours, and then we have weekly meetings on Wednesdays, and then we again start questioning, okay, why do we need a weekly meeting? Well, what is it really essence? So what allows? Connections are like, now can you see the pattern? There are always connections. It's a choice. If I choose to be connected, it's fine. That's a choice. I'm not here to influence. I'm not here to tell you, okay, please do this. That's the Aiesec India strategy. Connection loss. So yeah, appreciate it.
So being completely blunt honest, I think we just don't complicate how to find a solution, but we also complicate why is it happening. For example, this session right now, I feel you're saying that there's so many problems, and I feel, to be honest, I really don't think how we treat Aiesec as an organization, be it a home, be it a personal conflict, be it a workspace, does not impact as much as what your process of your mind process is. For example, something I want to mention beforehand also were the 9 steps. It immediately hit me, an obsession was those 9 steps. Like, you can apply literally anything. Your stakeholders, within yourselves, anything at all. If you follow those 9 steps with enough guidance from externally, you can change this organization and how it usually works. And we are just complicating what are we blaming it on rather than focusing what exactly should we move towards.
And if I am the leader of the organization, I completely allow that to happen, right? And that's how it is. Because I function differently, I don't want someone else to function differently, because my way of thinking or my way of being might be completely different from anyone chooses, even my team, even the focus commission, right? So that's a choice, right? So the point of this entire thing is we see what we're going to make out of it. Right? At the end of the day, it's a platform. And as I was giving an example to Karthik, you make a circle, you make a racetrack, you make a swimming pool, you make a house, you make a playground, you make a garden. That's a choice. Right? But the point here is, whatever is financing you or whatever is stopping you, those things, probably need to start letting go of those things. Because that, to what Akash was saying, will just take up too much of energy, which can be used somewhere else, and that's visible. Right? I've seen that happen in my life when I was doing my AD tour. Right? Any other thoughts here? Yes. Can I go to a fresh person? Even you are fresh, but new.
So throughout this session, I just thought that every time we ask what is your why of Aiesec and everything. So this is the connection. Like when I went for a GCDP as an EP, I got my why over there. This is the reason I am in Aiesec for 1.5 years. But there are members whose why is not clear, whose connection to Aiesec takes time, like 6 months, 7 months. So what if we do something like one LTS decides that they will work in this department for the 6 months or say for 1 year. So what if the members get a 1 month experience in Aiesec? They can do anything. They can go for NGO appointments. They can go for OGCDB raise or something. And once their why is clear, they will contribute more to Aiesec also.
Yeah, that's all right. But Simon Sinek comes to a stage at TED conference and talked about these circles where the center is why, and then we started asking us why, and that has caused a lot of mental trauma. You know, my point of view. Yeah, and it's a good question as we discussed, right? So, and you think like that, and I'll not say that I'll fire you, right? I'll not say that you can't be in the organization. You took 7 months to learn RMR or whatever that is right now. Really? No, you can't be here. I'll not say that, right? So how can we encourage more and more people to be in an ecosystem where anyone can just expert as a problem, and not a problem, expert as a system is there. And an engineer from IIT can easily build that system because it's been built by a couple of engineers in England by a company called Rebel Minds. Right? A couple of alumni of IIT DGP can easily make it. Couple of alumni from anywhere can probably make it. How can we allow our people to do that? The question is there, right? So, I have one more slide. Yeah. So we talk about creation. So let people create whatever they want, and let's try to see what we can learn from those creations as well. Because yeah, one learning is an ongoing process. One learning is super important. But let's not try to own everything. My department, my this and that, which is fine. You can still choose to do that. I'm not firing for that as well. I was joking. Yeah. So let's provide a lot of space. Let's put a lot of these elements which you feel are draining yourself at any point in time. Just go out of the system and see what happens after that. Right? I am experiencing. I'm not saying it as a theoretical preach, but this is what we experience as a team on the MC, and that's why we can vouch for it. But there's a sheet, okay? So the MC discusses this thing on the sheet. Because there's 5 people in Farhan's room. You guys know Farhan, right? Okay, we'll fix video now. We're in Farhan's room. 5 of us took the sheet again, started working on that, left the sheet back. People came, people saw, so some chose to work for it, some didn't choose to work for it. It's completely fine. We have an output as we have, right? These kind of things, right? So on the closing thoughts, you choose to define what you choose to define, okay? Because you are leaders, and the way you want to lead the organization is completely up to you. There's a reason that you are here in the position that you guys are. There's a reason you guys are doing things the way you guys are doing things, right? But just for the sake of this session and the sake of the discussion, just make sure that there's a lot of allowance in the organization from people, from HJDs, yeah, from everyone. So thank you so much, guys. We go to dinner now. Go to dinner. What time will we come back? Come back at 9:30. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.